Hi everybody, it's Mr. Schlissel, and hopefully you have this sheet in front of you that I gave you today. This is the human digestive system, and we're going to start our discussion in this unit about digestion and nutrition. And I'd like you to have this sheet in front of you so that we can label all the structures of the human digestive system. It's a quite amazing system. I know I love to eat. I love pizza and heroes and hamburgers and all that good stuff. And there's an old saying, you are what you eat, because what you eat are proteins and carbs and lipids. And what you do with those things is you make them part of your body. You build muscle from the proteins. You use the carbs for energy. The lipids are used to make up, if you recall, the cell membranes, made up of a phospholipid bilayer. And so you are what you eat, and that's why a good diet is very important. In this unit, we're going to learn a little bit about the digestive system and some things that can affect us when they have some malfunctions. So get your sheet. If you don't have it right now, pause the video and go get it. And what we're going to do is label our diagram now. So the first thing on our journey is the mouth. That's number one. And when you take food in, right, or you ingest it, that's where it goes into the human mouth. And then teeth start to grind it and chop it up, make it into smaller pieces so that it increases the surface area for enzyme action to take place. So the mouth is the starting point on this digestive process. Number two is the tongue, and the tongue plays a role. After the food is chopped up, it makes the food sort of form into a bowl or a ball shape, and it's sometimes that bowl of food is called a bolus, and the tongue helps to push that food backwards towards the back of the throat. So label one, mouth, two, tongue. Number three is the salivary glands. In the mouth, you have glands on the roof of your mouth, underneath your tongue. They play important roles in chemical digestion of food. As food is chemically broken down into its simpler building blocks, these glands secrete enzymes, and we'll discuss more about that. On your sheet, let's label number four. This is a thin piece of tissue that prevents food from going down your windpipe or your trachea. And so that's called the epiglottis, this little piece of tissue. And if you've ever, been eating and talking at the same time, sometimes what happens is you're letting air into your lungs, you're talking and chewing at the same time, and the epiglottis gets confused on which tube to cover. Should it cover the windpipe or should it cover the food tube? And so the epiglottis prevents food going down into our windpipe and into the lungs. So it's an important structure. Number five is the food tube that will bring the food down from our mouth into our digestive tract. It's called the esophagus. From the esophagus, food will finally enter into the stomach. So I'm going to jump over number six for a second, because number seven is where they place the stomach on our diagram. So food goes from the mouth to the esophagus to the stomach, and now we'll fill in what number six is. Number six is a very important organ in many body systems, and it plays a big role in digestion, but food really never enters into this organ. There's a few of these organs that play a big role in digestion, but food never enters them. They secrete enzymes into other structures. And so number six is the liver. Number eight, okay, we're up to number eight now, is hidden sort of behind the stomach, and it's called the pancreas. The pancreas is a very important organ in digestion, in sugar control in the bloodstream, and so it plays a very important role in maintaining homeostasis. Number nine is the large intestine. Let's move that a little bit over here so we can see it. And the large intestine is called large because it's pretty wide. It's not that long, or not as long as compared to the small intestine, but it is a wider in diameter. So you have the large intestine, and number 10 would be the small intestine, which is quite long. In fact, it's longer than the large intestine, but it's narrower. It's in diameter, so they call it small. Okay, moving down the digestive tract, you have number 11, which is your appendix. Sometimes they get inflamed and have to be removed in humans. We'll talk more about that. 12 is sort of at the end now of the large intestine and at the end of the digestive tract. It's referred to as the rectum, and the opening out the body where undigested food leaves is referred to as the anus. Now, in addition, they put a couple of the organs on a separate sort of picture on the left-hand side so that we can really see them a little better. So number 14 is the stomach. It's the same as number 7. It just gives us a better view of it. So let's fill that in. And now we can see number 15. Number 15 is the pancreas. It's hidden behind the stomach, so it's quite hard to see it in the overall picture. But when we place it by itself, just a few organs there, we can get a much better view. When we get the intestines out of the way, the large and small intestines, we can see the position of the pancreas. 17 is the liver again, and number 16 is a structure that looks like a little pouch. And again, food doesn't enter the the liver, doesn't enter the pancreas, and it doesn't enter number 16, but all these organs play important roles in digestion. And number 16 is referred to as the gallbladder. Sometimes people have gallbladder problems. Maybe someone you know may have gallbladder problems. And so we'll learn more about what the gallbladder's role is in digestion. So if you need to, you can pause the video, you can finish copying and labeling your diagram, and then come back to the video. I want to go and just discuss a few terms that I mentioned during labeling, which is the processes involved in nutrition. So we have ingestion, taking food in, and as we saw, that happens in the mouth. Digestion, the breaking down of these large molecules like proteins and carbs and lipids into their basic building blocks. We have to go back to biochemistry and remember lipids are made of glycerol and fatty acids, and proteins are made of amino acids, and carbs are made up of smaller sugars, simple sugars like monosaccharides like glucose. And we see digestion occur throughout the digestive system. The minute it enters your mouth, it starts to be broken down, and it moves all the way through until it's really small and can finally get into our cells. And then egestion, we see finally, is the removal of the food that never got into our cells, that was somehow never absorbed into the body and is stored in the rectum and finally leaves the body through the anus. Okay, now if you turn this sheet over, you'll see there are some questions that I would like you to answer. Now, the way you should answer it is you have to go to this video at YouTube. And so if you copy and paste this or write it down and put this in your web browser, it will take you to Mr. Anderson's site, which is Bozeman Videos, and he'll talk shortly about a 9-minute video on how the human digestive system works. And you can pause the video, and as he discusses various topics, you can answer the questions that I've put on the back of this sheet. So when you get there, okay, it should kind of look something like this. I'll mute that. Okay, there's a commercial, it seems. So let's see what it will look like. The digestive system, Bozeman digestive system, and here it is. And yep, you'll be able to pause it. It's a 9-minute, 9.37-second video, and you can pause it and answer those questions. And then tomorrow we'll discuss all of this in class and go over in more detail about the human digestive system. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you need to, like I said, pause the videos, come back to them, listen to them again, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.